UK Public Administration Select Committee, and one of their minutes was this beautiful little quote: strategies about dealing with the uncertainty, complexity, and the dynamic. I think that's climbing. When I really think about it, look about it, think about it. You don't know what's going to happen. This is a really complex environment that you're setting out in. You can't model it. You have no idea what's going to happen, really. Dynamic. What do I mean by all this? So, word uncertain. Not known or definite, that's obvious. This is interesting. It's a really stable word in terms of etymology. It's been stable in our language for centuries, of indeterminate time or occurrence. I think language is really important. That's why I sort of take my time to drop into these things. Complex, many different and connected parts, a whole comprised of parts. I think this is the better of the two. 1650 is quite a recent word. Whole comprised of parts, because this is the world that you're going into when you're climbing, right? This thing suggests to us that we can break a whole into various parts and analyze the crap out of it. But this one says actually we're possibly in the middle of it and we can't think about it. I would prefer you to think about this one when you do climbing. You cannot understand the whole system that you're in. It's safer. This is safer than that description, I believe. Here's the last one, the dynamic. Constant change, activity, or progress from the Oxford Dictionary. But this is Greek. This is from the Greek. The last two words from the Latin. Force producing motion. I think this is a lot more important for you guys. A lot more important. Constant change, activity, and progress is just sort of, it's too abstract. This thing, force producing motion, you can just imagine, right? This is flooded rivers, this is avalanches. So when you are in your environment climbing, just these three things. What don't I know? I can't see the whole system, and the whole thing is changing and will bring weight on me, and I don't even know when it will happen. I think I'm getting to the end. Oh, sorry. Last one. Oh, Jesus. Right. I'm coming to a point on this. So everyone has frames, right? Mental structure simplifies and guides our understanding of complexity. This is very much a human thing. I teach this quite a lot. If you're looking out that window, you can't look out that window. You can only look at one thing. We have a whole different set of frames based on who we are and where we come from. The way we frame a problem exerts control of the options we recognize. Alright, what happens in frames with frames is you have this thing called frame blindness. You can't see it, you can't see the whole picture, and frame conflict. So you might all be climbers, but you're not a homogeneous group. You have a whole bunch of different frames. And when you're out in the bush and you're making decisions, you're not going to be making decisions unanimously. In some situations, obviously, your decisions are pre-made for you. Stay on the track. In other situations, they're not. You're in quite a complex environment. Things are changing. And the frame of the primary decision maker influences the outcome for the whole group. Alright. Oh, screw that. Screw that. This is the bit I'm interested in. So, this bit here, that's what I'd like you to think about when you're up in the hills the next time. In your group, do you all think the same? If not, how might this frame blindness and frame conflict lead to a bad effect? Just out of interest, who here has been climbing for more than 5 years? Sweet. More than 10 years? 15? 20? Right. Who here climbs to reach an extreme in either height or distance? Who climbs for height or distance? I'll rephrase that. Who climbs the experience of being in the bush? Okay, alright. Adding to the experience in the bush, who then gets a kick out of heights and distance? Right. Two different frames in different circumstances can lead to two different decision-making sets, and when you find yourself in trouble, can lead to two different outcomes. I'm done. Yeah. I do like climbers. Alright? The thing I really want you to guys hold in your head is that bloody thing. Alright? Go out, have a great time, look after each other, and come back. Preferably with 30% of your time left, right? That's it. Thanks, Rohan.
We've got time for questions.
Oh yeah, more questions.
I don't think you need this just yet. But
Alright.
you can save it
You
for
need to
later.
mix the grain and the great man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I
So,
accept this on behalf of...
Sorry, yeah.
No, that was a joke.
Yeah, that was great. Lots of things there. I'd like to add one more bias to that, and I think it's sunk cost bias. And particularly for climbers that invest a lot of time in preparing, planning, taking leave, getting permission from their partners, spending money on airfares, equipment, and all the other things that go into getting 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever days or weeks in the mountains. When you put that kind of investment and you add it to the other biases and decision-making issues you have to face up to, they compound. And I think what kills people on Everest is often the sunk cost bias. They've spent tens of thousands of dollars and they made a commitment and so on. So I think there's lots of, if you Google, you go to Wiki, you look at cognitive bias, it's pages of stuff. It's worth a look. Questions? Any?
Whoa, shivers. I'm going to go from left to right back to the lady there. That's a good question in the context of the night. I was working as a partworks librarian for a publishing company, and I was in charge. I'm an organizer. I was in charge of the books and the transparencies, which were in huge filing cabinets. These were big ones, very deep, wide, about this high. I got a call. Can you please find Home and Garden, issue 13, page 25, the transparency on the bottom right-hand corner. Couldn't find it. I thought, I know where it is, because when people take transparency sheets and they return them, they'll often put them on the top of a filing cabinet, therefore likely to be behind. So, well, logical, right? So I shimmied the thing out and I jumped on top on my belly, stuck my legs out, and yes, I could see. So I could reach that. Yeah, and I did. And within 10 minutes I was like this at the bottom, and my little legs were like that. But then it's amazing, after about 20 minutes, I was just passing out. That's when I thought, oh, fuck it. Alright, I'll pull the phone down and rang around, but it was everyone's lunch break and I had to ring several people. Can you come and get me, please? No, I'm kind of busy right now, so am I. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. That's it.
Well, the question I had was just around an example, a New Zealand example of a climbing tragedy which springs to mind, which is Rob Paul dying on the Everest with dark cancer.